Welcome to Are We the Only Ones? I'm Kathy, and today I want to talk about that crazy ballroom. Okay, so we are looking at people that are about to lose their SNAP benefits, and if you don't know anything about SNAP, I'll tell you because I know firsthand. When we lived in New York City, we actually qualified for SNAP because both of us were out of work. My husband was in the process of getting, he had a contract ready for a law firm that was really, it was big laws. It was really high pay. But in between the time between him graduating and then starting was a time period where we were not covered. And then I got pregnant and it happened to be this time. So then I had just filmed a reality show and I was launching a brand new clothing line, and I had had some success because I had designed a jacket for Stevie Wonder that he wore to Obama's first White House Correspondents' Dinner. And so I was on the rise. I was on a reality show, and you can imagine, like, it's feeling like it's starting well. But then I get pregnant. So then I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So it's in this time that we have to go on WIC and SNAP benefits. And I had never been on that before, because I'd always come from a very privileged background. So then I got to learn the system. And I thought it was actually interesting because I knew it was going to be temporary, which was also a privileged position to me to know that it's going to end. But to be pregnant while you're under distress and not knowing where this money is going to come from to feed yourself and your baby that you're trying to nourish in utero, was super stressful. And so what was very interesting was that I learned that when you're on WIC, which is for mothers, it was something like $139 a month that we had with all of our SNAP benefits and WIC and everything included, everything. So imagine $139. Now, this is still like, it's 2013, but it's still like, like pretty modern, like time. So you can imagine that in terms of inflation, it wasn't that different in price. I think gas was around $4 a gallon at that time still. So we're still in the same like price range. So you can imagine $139 a month is extremely a small amount of money to feed two adults and a mother who is trying to nourish a baby that's in utero, right? So not only that, I had to go through a lot of hoops, like walking back and forth between DMV to get documentation, went to different banks, getting the Social Security office, and I'm pregnant and I'm like walking and I'm in the winter, and I can only imagine now, because now I'm out of that, how it feels. I remember. So when I'm thinking about these people that are about to lose their SNAP benefits, I very much remember what it was like and how stressful that was. I think it's very strange that you have the expiration of SNAP benefits nationwide, while you also have a ballroom that didn't need to be built, that was destroyed without the proper channels, because you understand it's a historical structure, the White House. So normally with historical structure, especially in New York, Donald Trump would know this because he did real estate in New York. For structures like that, you normally can't do any kind of adjustments on the exterior structure. And for interior structure, you have to get a lot of permission. And especially with something like the White House, you can imagine how difficult it would be to be able to change the structure, interior or exterior, no matter what, without some kind of a vote or like a lot of press or something like that, right? So there's these two things happening. Now, you have to understand, like, what kind of person would do this? Why would somebody want to starve their own people, hurt their own people, starve people that are having babies, right? If you're pro-life, it is very counterintuitive. And then for what reason would you want to build a ballroom by destroying the East Wing? Now, the East Wing has the bunker underneath. And I don't know if Donald Trump was the only president in modern times to use that bunker, and it was during the George Floyd protests, basically the birth of Black Lives Matter, which is really ironic because that was also my wedding anniversary. May 25th is the same anniversary. So I'm always very cognizant and aware on that day, because I don't feel comfortable celebrating my anniversary anymore, because for me, it's more like you have to remember George Floyd and the birth of the Black Lives Movement. It's a very, very powerful thing. So to find out that he went into the bunker on that day, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, really? It wasn't that. The bunkers were like nuclear war, not First Amendment. I mean, get real. Anyway, so tell me what you guys think. If you understand how ridiculous this is, if you understand how self-inflicted this is, and it's very strange, what is your thesis? What do you think is the reasoning behind this? I've heard different theories. I'm possibly as a narcissist, right? That he is dark triad. Possibly one thing that made sense to me is that he wanted to have a legacy, so he wants to destroy the ballroom and then build a bigger ballroom that has been named after him. Perhaps he would argue that ending SNAP benefits, the collateral damage would be worth saving the budget. I don't even know. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do this to your own people? I don't even think kings, like, in modern, only like the really, really nefarious kings have ever hurt their own people like this. So tell me what you think. Tell me who you want to see run. Who do you think has a chance to do this? Because honestly, I don't think President Obama is down to do a third term. It's a very interesting consideration. It was something I threw out there, but the reality is I don't know that he would want to run. I don't think that Michelle Obama would want to be the first lady again. I don't know that they want to do that. So the reality is, like, who's going to step up? I have my thoughts. Tell me what you think.